417. In 1492, Christopher Columbus signed a contract with Spain to find a passage to Asia and the Indies. 1521, Martin Luther was excommunicated from the Catholic Church. 1704, John Campbell published the Boston Newsletter, which would become the first successful newspaper in the U.S. 1861, Virginia became the 8th state to secede from the Union. 1875, the game snooker was invented by Sir Neville Chamberlain. 1917, the Daylight Savings Time bill was defeated in Congress but would pass a few months later. 1964, the Ford Mustang was unveiled and was labeled as a 64 and a half. 1969, Sirhan Sirhan was convicted of the assassination of Senator Robert Francis Kennedy. 418. 1775, Paul Revere, William Dowes, and Samuel Prescott did their midnight rides proclaiming, "The British are coming." 1847, U.S. troops defeated Santa Anna at Cerro Gordo in the Mexican-American War. 1861, Robert E. Lee turned down an offer to command the Union forces. 1923, Yankee Stadium opened in the Bronx, and nobody cares. 1934, first laundromat opened in Fort Worth, Texas. 1938, Superman made his debut in Action Comics. 1978, the U.S. Senate approved the transfer of the Panama Canal to Panama. 419. 1775, the American Revolutionary War officially began in Lexington, Mass. 1861, President Lincoln ordered the blockade of Confederate ports. 1897, the first annual Boston Marathon was held. 1982, Sally Ride was named as the first female astronaut. 420. 1775, American troops began their siege of the British-held city of Boston. 1832, Hot Springs National Park was initially created by an act of Congress. It was the first land set aside by Congress for recreational use. It was officially made a national park in 1921. 1841, Edgar Allan Poe had his first detective story published. 1861, Robert E. Lee resigned from the U.S. Army. 1912, Fenway Park opened in Boston, Mass. 1961, FM stereo broadcasting was approved by the FCC. 1972, the manned Lunar module from Apollo 16 landed on the moon. 1982, Pitfall was released on the Atari 2600. 1988, the B-2 stealth bomber was unveiled. 421. 753 BC is the recognized formation of Rome. 1836, General Sam Houston defeated Santa Anna at San Jacinto for the independence of Texas. 1856. The Mississippi River was crossed by rail for the first time at Davenport, Iowa, and Rock Island, Illinois. 1989. The Gameboy handheld devices were released in Japan. 4/22. 1861. Robert E. Lee was named commander of Virginia forces. 1876. The first official Negro League baseball game took place. 1889. At noon, the Oklahoma land rush officially started. Unfortunately, there were people already on the land, which is where the name Oklahoma Sooner comes from. 1914. Babe Ruth made his pitching debut for the Baltimore Orioles. 1976. Barbara Walters became the first female nightly news anchor. 1993. The US Holocaust Memorial Museum was dedicated in Washington, D.C. 4/23. 1789. President Washington moved into the first executive mansion, the Franklin House, in New York. 1954. Hankaaron hit his first Major League Baseball home run. 1985. Coca-Cola announced it was changing its 99-year-old recipe. 2005. The first video was uploaded to youtube.com.